I do. And speaking of falling asleep, I have a funny work story for you. Okay, so when I look at finish doing what we have to do, we have to wait for a security guard to come in and do the final check. So there's a lot of waiting around. Well, one of the guys, I guess, has a second job, and he ended up falling asleep. Well, he fell asleep, and I guess he went forward, and he hit his head on and literally busted his head open. They had to get, I guess, the medics at the casino to come help him out because he was bleeding, not a lot, but a little bit. But yeah, so
what you
fall asleep while you were.
All right, so homeboy basically is so worn out from work that he oversleeps, falls asleep on the job, and while he's sleeping, he like tips over and smashes his head on a table or something?
Yeah, he smashed his head on the table, and he ended up cutting his forehead just a little bit. I mean, and morning until 1:30 in the afternoon or whenever we get off work, and then he goes home and he sleeps for a couple hours, and then he goes to Amazon, to FedEx, and he works from FedEx from 6 at night until like 10 o'clock at night. And then he goes home and he doesn't go to bed when he gets home. Like, that's when he gets all of his stuff done. And so, he doesn't get much sleep time.
Well, poor guy, bro. Poor guy. Well, listen, that's a legitimate reason to fall asleep. I understand and can get with that, but the fans that drink too much at the shows, bro, that's a totally different story. So have fun, Joe, but be safe because you know how fans can get when they have a little bit too much of grandpa's old cough medicine.
Absolutely. And speaking of drinking, what are you drinking tonight? I know that I've got my rolling box sitting in front of me in my customized Wrestle Talk podcast beer mug. And you can get these mugs at the WrestleTalkPodcast.com. You can get them customized. They somehow they are made to literally fit one bottle of beer, and it has been scientifically proven to make your beer taste better when you put it into this beer mug. So what I do is usually on the day of Wrestle Talk, I put my beer mug in the freezer so that when Wrestle Talk starts, I can pour it out, pour my beer in there, and I have myself a nice cold beer. I mean, you don't have to put beer in it. You can put anything that you want into it, but yeah. If you don't have one of those yet, you need to get yourself one.
I'll tell you what, Jonesy, I, unfortunately, sir, will not be joining you in drinking beer today. I know. I can hear the judgment befalling me right now. Wait a minute. You didn't even let me finish. Jeez Louise, the Wrestle Talk family jumping down your boy in a matter of moments. I mean, come on, guys. Give me a little chance to breathe here. Okay, so I have promised myself to try to get in better physical shape. Part of the reason that I cannot do that is because I am very, very proficient in consuming exorbitant amount of alcohol, particularly beer of high alcohol content. So I love to drink, and I'm not going to stop drinking, but I can't consume that many calories. I mean, I will sit here sometimes with you guys and do the 2.5 hour show. Jonesy, last week I had 9 or 10 Stellas. Each one is about 110 calories, so that was a full meal, okay? And then sometimes I'll only drink 6 or 7, but it's one of those Sierra Nevadas or Space Campers or something like that, and those are like 200 calories per beer. So think about that, bro. That adds up pretty quickly. So what I'm actually sipping on today is some old-fashioned tequila with a little bit of sparkling water, bro. So anybody who sees me and thinks that I'm drinking Crystal Pepsi or Sprite, no, you guys saw I poured myself a little bit of tequila with a little bit of the sparkling water not because I don't want to have a couple of drinks. I got to have a couple of drinks with the Wrestle Talk cast fam. But no, it's because I can't continue to devour and consume that many calories and then still finish the show and have a full-blown dinner because I'm hungry by the time we're done. Okay? So that's kind of it. Next week, I'll have this in my Wrestle Talk podcast mug. It's actually being washed right now. Okay? But I want to encourage you guys out there who are watching the show, if you can, if you're home, you're done with work, and you don't have anywhere to go or drive, pour yourself a drink and share this broadcast, man. This is episode 261, and it's going to be a good one, Jonesy, a real good one.
Absolutely. It definitely is. You know, we've got the High Spot segment, the Shoot and Shout segment, the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge, the Fantasy Wrestling segment, the Snippets of Truth. And if that's not enough, we also have the gentleman from Suplex Tacos coming on, and then a personal friend of mine, the weight of the world, Cory Bush. And I'm telling you, when I hear Suplex Tacos, the only thing I can think of is this.
It's raining tacos from out of the sky. Tacos, no need to ask why. Just open your mouth and close your eyes. It's raining tacos.
Raining tacos.
Hey.
That's my dream.
Dude. That makes me proud to be a Mexican. The fact that there's a song called Raining Tacos. Hey, you guys give us a share and tap the thumbs up if you guys love freaking tacos. And that is the question of the day. All right. What is the best taco out there? We're going to ask the experts here in just a matter of moments, man. And I'm excited to talk to them. But you know what, Jonesy? I have a little bit of a surprise for you. Carl Lewis and everything. So let me get this out of the way. Number one, we're going to be doing 2 new segments. Not every week. They'll be hit or miss. We're going to be doing a Wrestle Talk Podcast Blackpool, where we'll get an update on all things pro wrestling in the UK. We'll get a NXT UK update, and we'll get a progress update from our boy Curtis Black. And then we're going to actually start doing a segment called the Wrestle Talk Podcast Lucha Lounge. And El Luchador will be coming on for a couple of minutes and giving us an update on what is going on in the world of lucha. Because, like you said last week, Jonesy, 35 minutes during the Hot Spot segment is not enough to cover everything that's going on in the world pro wrestling. We're going to hit the hot topics. We'll have these 2 guys that'll bring us up to speed on Latin America and Europe, specifically the UK. They'll come on sporadically and give us that information so that you guys don't have to go out and search it yourselves. We're going to give you all the trending topics, and then we're going to encourage you to dial this number. My friends out there in social media, do me a favor and type this out. 657-383-1521. Again, that's 657-383-1521. Once we drop the knowledge on you guys, regardless as to what we're talking about, okay, we want you guys to be a part of it. We want the Wrestle Talk family to call in and be a part of it. And as far as my people out there, I see you, Mayhem, talking about what about the hood. Well, listen, there are some hood promotions out there, and I want to hear about it. So if you want to do the research and call in, we can come up with something and have you on so you can give us the hood update. I don't know. Hood Slam is an actual promote. I don't want to steal from anybody, but that actually just makes a lot of sense. So we're willing to cover anything and everybody in the world of pro wrestling, because that's what we do here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. As you guys heard, brief update earlier on from about 2 hours ago, we are going to have a representative from Journey Pro Wrestling calling into the show for just a brief moment to bring us up to speed on exactly everything they have coming up tomorrow. So Journey Pro, Kansas Hall tomorrow. It's going to be an incredible show, and we're going to get a lot of information in a very short snippet of time. I originally had not planned on going, but I am going to be there. I am going to be at the Journey Pro KC tomorrow night. So if you want to come, show some love, take some pics, and enjoy the show with me, please make sure you take your stinking ass down to Kansas Hall, because it's going to be a badass show, including Fred Yehi, baby, is going to be in the house, a guy that I've been watching for the longest and involved in WWN, and now he's going to be facing off against the man himself, man, the Gateway Heritage Champion, Jeremy Wyatt. Dude, I could not be any more excited. That aside, guys, please make sure you're checking out Everything Combat with our boys Pat Milicic and Jeffrey Wilson. They also do the Conspiracy Farm, doing very, very big things over there. Our first ever sponsors over at KCK Dental. They helped us kind of suit up our studio a little bit, and they continue to support us top to bottom. We love them. So for all your needs, make sure you visit KCK Dental on Facebook. And then last but not least, this is an ultra special shout out because MEW is a local promotion here based out of the state of Kansas. They're running shows in Osawatomie. They'll have one in late September. They are also sponsoring the Wrestle Talk podcast, man, and I could not be any happier to have that partnership with those guys. I also do the commentary over there, Joe, and they're building some things over there, man. I think this year was a pretty decent start. They're starting to build some momentum coming off that show that we did out at the was it like the college football field for the high school? I'm sorry, the football field for the high school. I'm way crossed up now. They had a great show then, great attendance, and they're hoping to build from there. And they reached out to us for a little support, so we're gonna always give the opportunity for them to do that. All that said, Jonesy, I think it's time to do what we always do about this time and ask everybody to respectfully remove their caps, place their hands over their hearts as we pay homage to the greatest country on God's green earth, and that's America, damn it.
Oh, say, can you see? And
The Rockets. Red glass.
Uh-oh. I'll make up for it now. For the land of the free.
Brings a tear to my eye every single time. And speaking of booze, that almost sounded almost as bad as what Andrew Luck got booed out of the stadium when he announced his retirement. How are you going to boo the man?
Bro, we will get into that and a lot more later on in the show, but now it is time, guys, to bring on a guy who I actually am a personal fan of, not just because of what he does in the professional wrestling world. We've had a chance to have several conversations, and I've always been an admirer of this dude. He's recently married. He's basically running one of the most kick-ass promotions in the country right now, and it just so happens to be right down the street from my house. So, ladies and gentlemen, make noise one more time as we welcome in one of the three owners of Journey Pro Wrestling, the one, the only, DJ Stewart.
Hey, you Renee.
We got music for you, baby. Hold up. Nah, nah, nah. All right. Cut the music. This man's on limited time. He's got to get to dinner, dang it. You don't want no heat with the warden. I know he doesn't. What's up, DJ?
Hell yeah, man. I'm doing good. Thank you for the warm welcome. I always appreciate that.
Hey, no doubt. So, bro, everybody knows what the deal with you is, man. You're kicking cancer's ass. You're recently married. Journey Pro is killing it, bro. Y'all got a show tomorrow. We're going to get into that in just a second. But, bro, I got a word association for you, and it's just one word, bro, and I want you to tell me how you feel, okay? Here's the word. Kickflip. Okay. Kickflip. What does the word kickflip mean to you, DJ?
Everything, damn near. Yeah, damn near everything. Skateboarding, as you might know, is a huge, massive part of my life, and being able to still be able to do some of the things that I've loved about it through all this is pretty awesome. So I'm guessing you saw that video. Thanks for the shout out on that. I
did, dude, and I'm super proud of you, man. I mean, all the wrestling stuff aside, bro, your hustle is something to take note of. Because you haven't let any of this deter you, dude. You guys are determined. You guys are basically breaking the mold of what we know to be Kansas City wrestling. And you guys are doing it one show at a time. And this show that you guys have coming up is no exception, right? So, like, tell us a little bit about what went into this show, the planning of it, and some of the people that you guys are featuring.
Man, the planning of this one has been the most hectic. This is our fastest turnaround. We're now a monthly product fully because of the amazing response that we've had from our fans all throughout Kansas City and online. We're lucky enough to now move this to going monthly. With that, it's just been a whirlwind. You know, we've always had at least like 6 weeks between shows to iron out details, to make sure that everybody's travel is handled and all those sort of things. And doing it on this short timeline has been nuts. Every show comes with challenges. There's always something that comes up, and this one is absolutely no exception. And again, just on a shorter timeline. So those challenges become bigger every time. But everything seems to have fallen into place now, and the card is stacked. I mean, there is some absolute bangers on this card. If I do say so myself, I'm excited as hell for it.
Well, listen, and I don't blame you for that at all. And keep this brief. So we saw the news, wrestling fans, that one of your guys, a homegrown guy, let's call him an NWL/Journey Pro guy, in Sharkbait, Anthony Sharkbait Gutierrez, signed a contract with Evolve. I know you're not going to take any of that credit because that's not the kind of guy you are, man. But how excited are you for him that he basically got his start with you guys, or with your group, right? With Walter and Gabe and yourself. And now he's evolving. I mean, pun intended, right? He's evolving and doing some pretty incredible shit, dude. Like, how happy does that make you for him?
That makes me, on so many levels, so happy. Sharkbait is a close personal friend of mine. That's my boy. So not only am I like just so blown away and proud of my friend, but to have one, you know, to even have him on the card ever is a pleasure, because the man just puts everything he has out there. I wish that I could say that we could take the credit for it, but that guy built himself up.
Yep.
I mean, he really is just a monster in every aspect of the word. So we are so damn proud of Sharkbait, so excited for his match tomorrow. Him and Kenny Alfonso is going to be an athletic, like, showstopper. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, somebody's going to have to slow those guys down, because I don't know if they know how. I've seen them both work for a long time, dude. It's going to be. So, DJ, I'm going to put you on the spot. And then we'll close it out with all the information for the show. So let's look into the future here just briefly. So we have Sharkbait that has now, you know, proven himself to be worthy of a contract with Evolve. If you could, let's just say, narrow it down to another one or two guys without alienating anybody. This isn't for you know, throwing shade at anybody, but if there's somebody else that has come through your doors that you think is on the brink of something like that, and it doesn't even have to just be one person, you know, it could be a tag team or whatever. Who do you think out of the Journey Pro roster has the same potential as Sharkbait, and you could see them doing some big things in the world of professional wrestling, say in the coming months or maybe even a year?
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be close for me. It's definitely a tag team. I would go with the Regal Twins. I think those guys are undeniable stars, and it's only a matter of time before they're signing on a dotted line somewhere. They've got the whole package. But then we've got, that's a damn hard question. You know,
I knew it.
the Death Threat Army that they're facing off against, those guys are workhorses. You'll see them everywhere. They're traveling nonstop, putting in all the hours. And then, I mean, Kevin Cook, Gary J. I don't even know.
I don't want your head to explode, bro. It's okay. Just relax. Well, anyway, bro, before
I think
go ahead. I'm sorry.
If I had to put my money on who was next, it comes down to the Twins. But I think damn near anybody that we've had on our roster has the potential to do that. That's why we try to bring in the talent that we do. We try to showcase people that we know are up next. We're not, you know, some major promotion, but we like to think that maybe we have an eye for people that are up next, and we can give them another place to come out and get some new fans and get, you know, everybody wins.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's a reason that the stars keep coming back, man. Jimmy Jacobs has been with you guys. You guys now have Shotzi Blackheart as a regular member of your roster. And then, of course, Freddie Ahai, man. Before we let you go, last thing, dude, how excited were you when you finally took the pen to the paper and said, yeah, our main event for this show is Freddie Ahai versus Jeremy Wyatt? Being a long-term fan of pro wrestling in this area, how cool is it for you to be facilitating matches like this for the fans? Because honestly, bro, I wasn't going to be able to make it because I have a business meeting, but something happened, quote unquote, and I'm going to be there tomorrow because I can't miss this, dude. I got to see it. And as much wrestling as I watch, there's not a whole lot of stuff that gets me up and going anymore. But dude, that gets me up and going, and you can bet your ass off I'll be there in the front row, raising hell like always.
Hell yes, man. I'd love to hear it. And back to the question, I mean, blown away. This is going to be a masterpiece of a match. These guys are just absolutely incredible. They're going to burn the place down. Thank God it's at the end of the night because there's going to be nothing left.
Smoke and ashes, ladies and gentlemen. Well, DJ, just tell them where it's all taking place. Are there any tickets available, and why do they need to be there?
There are definitely still a few left. It is looking to be another sellout, which we're very, very lucky for. But I think that you could still get some on JourneyProKC.com right now. There'll be some available at the door as well. Hopefully, we'll be updating on social media throughout that process tomorrow. But it's at Kansas Hall tomorrow night, Overland Park, Kansas, 7 p.m. I mean, the list of why you should be there is insane. We went over a few of them. You're going to see debuts, guys like King Snake taking on Niall Blanc, Sharkbait, like we mentioned.
There when that nickname was given to them, by the way. I was there when Thumbs and Buns happened on your live stream, so I'm personally proud of that one because I was there when it happened.
Yeah, that is a fan creation, and that's perfect. That sums up exactly what they should be. I love it. Love it. Love it.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. DJ Stewart of Journey Pro, dude, you are a soldier. You're a trooper. And more than anything, man, I want to thank you for continuing to strive. Chief season is getting ready to get started, but they're not playing tomorrow. The Royals ain't worth a damn. So let me tell you something. Last time DJ came on, no, actually it was Walter. Last time Walter came on, there was about 6 tickets left, and by the time he hung up the phone with us, they were all sold out. So get your asses over to Journey Pro KC on Facebook and grab some tickets. If not, you're going to have to fall into this classification.
Stupid, 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 man, stupid.
Either you're there or you're stupid. Shout out to Journey Pro. I love my t-shirt, man. Yes, I occasionally buy merch because I support these promotions, and so should you, damn it. That said, Jonesy, I think it's time to transition, man. We got a little bit of time left in high spots, and we have El Luchador on the line, man. So what are we going to do? We're going to test out this Wrestle Talk podcast, Luchador Lounge, or what, dude?
Absolutely. All right, let me go ahead and get some music for this segment. Anton, Timmy, if you could please play this music for this segment. Anytime, Anton, Timmy.
Hit the music, Timmy.
All right.
Ha Lucha!
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
¿Qué pasa, hermano? ¿Qué pasa? What's up, man? How you feeling tonight?
Hell, I'm great, man. You know, Monday had some things to do with the dental office. Had to take 2 of my front teeth out. So obviously I'm kind of woozy from that, but I'm still doing great tonight. You know, it's all good, man. All good for the wrestling stuff. So what you got for it? Well, you know, on a personal level, my 2 front teeth, they've been bothering me ever since I was a kid. You know, I had all kinds of stuff done. You know, I had like silver caps on them when I was a kid. You know, and they grew out. You know, then as I got older, you know, one of my tooth got cracked and chipped. You know, pretty bad. So I had to go see a dentist and have them look at it. And they informed me that both my teeth had to be taken out because it was pretty much getting old and decaying, you know. So I had no choice but to have them get rid of them. But hopefully as they heal, you know, down the road, definitely I'll get some new teeth on those 2 to replace them in the near future.
Oh, that sounds good. And ladies and gentlemen, that was El Luchador with your orthopedic update here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. Just kidding, bro. Hey, man, listen. Just real quick. You are going to have a spot here on the show. Not every week. It'll be sporadic, okay? But we want you to give us a lucha update. What is going on in the world of Lucha Libre, because we hardly ever have enough time to cover everything we want to cover. You know how the Wrestle Talk podcast works. We usually have a lot of callers. Promoters like to call in, just like DJ did. Shout out to Journey. Shout out to MEW. Shout out to KCX. Everybody in the area. EPPW out east and all that. Right. But listen, we never get a chance to cover as much as we want to. New Japan, all the stuff in Mexico, all the stuff in UK, Progress, NXT. I mean, it's crazy. So we're going to bring an expert in to give us a Lucha update. So what do the people need to know that's going on in the world of Lucha Libre today, Luchador? Fill us in.
All right. Well, I just want to let you know this now. I guess AAA Lucha Libre, they're still having their show next month, September 15, 2019, at the sports capital of the world, Madison Square Garden in New York City, of course. And that show is going to be at the Hulu Theater of Madison Square Garden. So I'm sure tickets are probably still available, or maybe they're sold out. You never know. But if you want to see that show, there is like a outlet you can see it on. If you know, you're familiar with Twitch, right?
Of course. We all know Twitch.
Yeah.
XWE is on Twitch, man. That's where you can hear your boy.
Right. And if you follow AAA Lucha Libre on Twitch as well. If you follow them, you can get the podcast, or if you're lucky, the English broadcast by Matt Stryker and Vampiro. I've seen a lot of shows on Twitch through AAA Pro Wrestling or Lucha Libre, and believe me, it's great.
Well, now, Luchador, quick question. Tell us one match or one wrestler that we need to be on the lookout that works for AAA.
Oh, man. There's one man that definitely needs to be on the lookout. He's currently on the contract with AAA, but you can also see him with the Future Stars of Wrestling and on Impact from time to time. You know, his name is Killer Cross, and this man, he's like Ken Shamrock. He's like Ken Shamrock and what's his name, John Moxley, and of course with Dan Severn, the Beast, all mixed in one.
Wow, dude.
He is a phenomenal athlete. People need to watch this guy.
Awesome. All right, Luchador, we got time for one more update, man. What else is going on in the world of Lucha Libre?
I believe, what is today? Wednesday? Yeah, this Friday, CMLL and Ring of Honor and I believe New Japan Pro Wrestling, they're having a Grand Prix 2019 in Arena, Mexico. And all the stars from CMLL and Ring of Honor are going to be there. Now, I don't know how many from New Japan are going to be there, but it's definitely going to be a show to watch.
Well, we love to hear that, Luchador. Well, listen, we want to give you another 30 seconds or so, man. What are your final thoughts concerning Lucha Libre, bro? Because we do have a couple of guests on it. You're going to like these guys, Luchador. They actually run a very successful restaurant in Kentucky called Suplex Tacos. So I know you're going to be on hold listening, bro. And I know they're big fans of pro wrestling as well, dude. But they're Hispanic, and I know they appreciate what you're doing, man. Give us one more bit of news concerning Lucha Libre.
All right. Now, listen, I told you about the platform Twitch and AAA, right?
Yes.
But have you heard of another platform called Pluto TV?
Yes, of course.
Now, to anybody that's listening to me, if you have Pluto TV, whether on your phone, your tablet, or your smart TV, I suggest you download it and tune into channel 798. You can watch all AAA Lucha Libre from the early 2000s on that channel.
You mean like for free?
Yes, for free. You don't have to pay nothing. It's just from the early 2000s, from 2000 to 2009. Maybe a few specials along the way, but it is great, and I love it. I'm watching it right now.
Oh my goodness, dude! Thanks for the plug, Luchador, man. We really, really appreciate it. Well, folks, that'll do it for tonight's edition of Wrestle Talk Podcast, Lucha Lounge, hosted by a Luchador of Kansas City. Thank you for being here. Jonesy, what did you think about that, man? I think we should keep doing that deal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I definitely I like it. I don't get a chance to watch everything, so this is my opportunity to get caught up with Lucha Libre stuff. But you know what? It's time. It's time for the Suplex Tacos to come on show. I'm really excited about this. I'm telling you, every time I hear Suplex Tacos, all I think about is it's raining tacos, man.
Well, listen, I had that song from earlier, bro. I love that. I know we had another intro song, but you can play that as an intro, and I want to make sure that I'm specific with it. Suplex Tacos is the name of the restaurant. Suplex Tacos is not the name of the guests. The guests are Ron and Sergio Garcia that actually run it, and I believe that they're brothers. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, welcome in our first featured guest of the evening, the gentlemen who are responsible for one of the coolest restaurants anywhere, Suplex Tacos, Ron and Sergio Garcia.
Sergio, welcome.
Hey guys,
What up, Sergio?
can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
How you doing, Renee?
Doing good, brother. How you doing?
Good, thank you so much. Thank you for the invitation.
Nah,
Here's
dude.
Ron with me.
We're excited, dude. We're excited. Joe, say hello, dude.
What is going on? Hola,
Hey, guys.
¿cómo estás, señor?
Bien, ¿y tú qué tal?
Muy bien. Go ahead, Jonesy. Lead it off, baby.
Having a good time, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we are having a great time. So I guess I'm just going to start it off. What made
Well,
you
right
guys
ahead.
want to open up? What made you guys want to open up a restaurant dedicated to Lucha Libre?
Here's Ron to answer that right there.
Come on, Ron. Give it to us, baby.
Well, part of it was the fact that you know, the Mexican food options that were around here were a little bit different than what we were used to, and we just wanted to make sure we package it in a way that people knew it was going to be different. And one of the things that, you know, growing up for us was very symbolic of Mexico was the lucha libre stuff, you know. So we decided to go to that theme instead of, you know, the more traditional stuff like the charros and the sombreros and all that other stuff, you know. But using that as a background really kind of helped out, especially for this area, because there's a lot of wrestling fans around here, and I was surprised to know how many people actually recognize some of the masks on the wall and pictures on the wall. And it's been pretty positive all throughout.
Absolutely. Now, you guys are based out of Kansas City, correct?
No, Kentucky.
No, Kentucky. I don't know
Yeah.
why I think.
Yeah, we're right in the tri-state, so we actually get customers from 3 different states, you know, quite regularly, from Ohio and West Virginia and here in Kentucky too, you know.
Absolutely. Now, okay, you have a lot of different burritos, the Atlantis burrito and the popular 619 burrito. What exactly is in the 619 burrito?
The 619 burrito is actually a very popular burrito down in San Diego, which is where we come from. And the area code, you know, down there is 619. Also made popular by Rey Mysterio, but the burrito, you get a choice of steak or chicken, and it's got French fries, cheese, and pico de gallo. You know, a lot of people option for the sour cream and wok on it. It's just amazing.
Wow. Dude, that just makes me hungry. What about you, Renee? Like, I know that I like to eat. I know that Renee likes to eat, so
Before we started doing this segment, and I forgot it in my kitchen. But if I would have remembered, because I'm drooling all over my goatee right now, my t-shirt's all wet. Man, I'm telling you guys, if there's one thing I love more than tequila, it's good Mexican food, man. And the fact that you guys have have found a way to merge it with pro wrestling, which I also love. I think it's fantastic, Joe.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't want to take up all of your time, so Renee, why don't you come in here with whatever questions that you have, sir?
Okay, you got it, man. You got it. So, guys, I want to start off by saying thank you for doing what you're doing. I think there's a lot of misconception, especially in this political climate, about what Mexicans and what Latinos bring to the table and what we offer to this country. And not only is it amazing food and beautiful women and great music, we also offer creative entrepreneurship. And what you guys decided to do was risky. You know the statistics, right, about restaurants in their first year. And we all watch Bar Rescue and we all watch all the stuff on TV. But you guys decided to take that chance. So I guess the very first question is, why would you guys leave sunny San Diego to go to Kentucky? Either you really love Jim Cornette or y'all are running from some gang members. I'm trying to figure out which one it is.
No, but here's the reason behind it. You know, it was one of those times where we have some family over here in Ohio, and we came by to visit. And it was one of those nights where we just decided to go to a taco shop. That's what we call the restaurant. And it comes to our surprise that there wasn't any here. So that's where it got our attention, not knowing if anybody had tried it, failed, or they just haven't tried it. And that's how eventually we tried it. You know, we started doing some research and checking out what kind of food was over here. And that's how this idea started.
Yeah, and then on top of that, you know, as you were mentioning about, you know, what we bring to this country is really important to recognize that, you know, we both come from immigrant parents, and the thing is that as far as our work ethic and all that stuff, I think that was the main motivator behind, you know, keep pushing and just making it happen. Because, yeah, sure, all the statistics are against us, but, you know, we know ourselves pretty well. We know what kind of work ethic we can bring to the table. We know that it's not going to be a cakewalk. And, you know, going through this, I think that statistic is based on primarily, you know, people not knowing what they're getting into and not being ready for the hard work that takes to run a business, you know, and for us, there's just, you know, there's no plan B. You know, you got to make it happen. You got to adjust and you got to keep going.
Oh man, that's great. I love to hear the determination that we're so known for, right? As a people, you guys obviously still have that in your blood, man. That's great. So I guess I got to ask this question because I'm originally from Durango. I was born in Mexico. I'm very proud to be an American now. My family and I kind of went back, did it the hard way, the right way, and we're very proud of that. But I got to ask, man, because I know neither of you guys probably came up with a whole bunch of the recipes. So I want to know all the secrets. What I want to know is, whose recipes did y'all steal? Was it abuelita? Was it your mom? Was it one of your tias? I know y'all didn't go Pinterest your recipes, so where did y'all steal your stuff from? I got to know.
Just knowing what we're looking for, and growing up in San Diego, you just get used to the flavors, you know. So like, you know, when things are off. So even if we didn't know the exact recipe, we could adjust it to what we remember. You know, it's all just memory, really. And for other things, you know, yeah, we kind of make sure we got the okay from our family, you know, moms and people we knew, you know, and it's all in the taste, you know, really. So like, I think that was huge, you know, for anybody who's doing some kind of like traditional or somewhat traditional tasting food, you know, just going back to what you know and what tastes good to you. So luckily, I think down in San Diego, we just have a pretty good mix of pretty legit Mexican food. But, you know, like you were saying, what we bring to this country too is just that outside the box kind of thinking and adjusting. And we are able to package it in a way that works for here. You know, life here is a lot different than life over there. So we do have the monster burritos that you can eat behind the wheel, you know, and we have a drive-through and things like that. But, you know, we try to stay pretty true to the flavors so that people can recognize that it's not something just out of the box. We actually make a lot of the things here in-house, you know, from our salsas, from, you know, breaking down all our meats and butchering them and processing them ourselves by hand and everything. So we have a hand in everything we do.
Dude,
that's awesome. You know,
that is awesome. Jonesy, I got one last quick question before you jump in here, and it's a tough one. And I don't want to put two family members against each other, but here's another tough question. Which one of you two guys is the better cook?
Think about it. Do not ask it.
Who's the better cook? I need to know. Who is the better cook? Is it Ron? Is it Sergio? Who's the better cook?
Clearly Ron. He was. I always joke about it. You know, I always say, you know what, brother, you were born with this. And he gets pretty mad about it, though. I don't know why.
Ron, why are you not willing to take the title, man? He's trying to hand the heavyweight belt to you.
I think the little confining, you know, like I'm born for the kitchen. I think I'm born for more than just the kitchen.
He's like, hey, don't label me, man. No, I thought you guys were gonna break out into a. Hey, seriously, I thought you guys were gonna break out into a fight. I even brought Mills Lane. Check it out.
Yeah. So Renee, earlier you had asked, you know, what everybody's favorite taco was.
Yeah.
And, well, my favorite taco, and you know, most people would say, oh, you know, a beef taco, but my favorite taco is a taco called a Baja taco. It's a fish taco. I believe it's a taco that comes out of California, and it's really, really, really good. I don't know if you guys have ever tried a Baja taco, but if you haven't, you definitely should.
Yes, actually, we do have we do, just like you mentioned, Joe, we do have a fish taco on the menu, and that's something that a lot of people have tried, and they give us pretty good feedback, because there's a lot of people that have been over to Baja, and they come over here out and they love it. So that's a little bit of taste from what they tasted from, and they just keep coming back for it. So that's one of the top seller ones that we have so far.
Yeah, and actually that's what's funny too about this area is that this area is known for a lot of people, you know, going into the military, and like, you know, in San Diego and LA, there's big military bases over there. So it's fun to see how many people actually spend some time out there and had the food to where this just kind of takes them back. And actually, to your point, you know, like the fish tacos, that's the one item I feel very confident about, to where even when people kind of like say something about it, it's like, oh, you know, I don't really like fish. Or, you know, sometimes I'll just throw one in there for free. So
try it out.
I know it's that good. You know, it's going to change their mind about how they think about fish tacos. You know, even if they've never heard about a fish taco, but they're pretty good.
And that's
absolutely
sounds good.
The last thing before I send it back to Renee is not only do you guys have a lot of great food and, you know, really, really cheap prices, but you also have a lot of professional wrestling items there. You know, mash from some of the most famous luchadors. You know, photographs. Where did you get all your wrestling stuff from?
You know, part of it is we had some family members send in from Mexico, actually. You know, as far as the masks go, some of the pictures we've you know, things that we've had collected in the past, and it's really, we really wanted to make it feel like this is not a new thing, you know. So most of our pictures are black and white or like a brownish color to them, because we want to make sure that people get the idea that this has been going on for a long time, and it's got a pretty rich tradition.
Just like the guest you had earlier, you know, Luchador, he was mentioning about AAA. I was doing a little bit of reading earlier about the AAA and how everything started, and we actually feel pretty good about the masks that we have, because we have El Santo, we have Mil Máscaras, we have Blue Demon. You know, those are the ones that, you know, started it all, I guess, and a lot of people, you know, when they come in, ask us a little bit more about them, and they recognize some of them, and it's pretty cool.
Wow. Yeah, that is definitely awesome. I don't live that far away from Kentucky, so one of these days I'm gonna make a trip down to
I sure hope so, Joe.
Tacos, just so I can, try some of these burritos and see all your memorabilia. And you never know, maybe I will drag my co-host along, because I know that he would love to go to Suplex Tacos, wouldn't you, Renee?
Oh, dude, hell yeah. And I want to go with you. Guys, let me tell you a quick story. So Joe flew to Kansas City because we do these really great watch parties for SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, and WrestleMania. We do these parties here in the city. Shout out to eSports. So I took him to a Mexican place, and every time he comes here, he's like, hey, bro, I want to try something that's like authentic. You guys want to know? Joe is the man. I got him some elote in a cup with the cheese and the tajin and all that. Joe, tell him what you thought about the elote, bro.
I never got to try this corn.
Oh, you're right.
That's
amazing.
No, okay. What did you have though? You had something else. What was it?
I got 5 churros.
Los churros.
Those were amazing.
Churros.
Yeah.
How can you be 40 years old and never try churros in your life? I think Joe, he finally hit puberty when he tried those churros. It was amazing.
I live in all know authentic Mexican places that have churros. Like the most authentic place that I have is a street taco place, and they don't have churros. So I don't have, I've never even had a street corn yet.
Bro, well,
one day
we gotta get you down to Suplex Tacos to try some of their stuff. But after, what we're gonna do is hopefully these guys will let us go in the kitchen, and then we'll get them to cook us some tripa and some lengua, which I don't even know if they have that on the menu. But you guys know what I'm talking about. Some tripa and some lengua. That's what.
When you guys are coming, we'll have some corn for you too.
Oh yes, yes. Oh my goodness.
And then you can Facebook Live.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm excited to do that. I'm excited. Well, listen, I got one more question for you guys, and then we got a little segment that's always fun. It's called Shoot Shot. We want to do with both of you. But here's, I guess, my last question. So, number one, what is the coolest thing that you have in your restaurant as far as memorabilia? And then also, since you guys like the history of Lucha Libre, can you try to explain to the people how big somebody like El Santo was? Because I think there's not many that understand that he was so big that he transferred. They wanted him here, and they wanted him. I mean, I'll let you guys tell it. So what is your most coolest item in your store? And what do you guys think about some of these megastars in Mexico that the world is just now kind of starting to find out about?
Yeah, I think the coolest thing for me is some of the pictures we have up there, where you can tell that, back in the days, these guys were not bodybuilders. These were athletic folks for sure. But, these guys are not, they're not what you would know as a wrestler nowadays, and I think it's just very unique to where you can see the transition, like how it went by, and specifically, El Santos, he was not a big guy, but for your point, like as far as how big he was, the way I try to explain it to people is like before, DC and Marvel comics got down to Mexico, these were our superheroes, back in the 60s and 70s. These guys were Superman and Batman. The movies back then that depict them, they're fighting, zombies, they're fighting vampires, and they're saving the world, and so that's how I try to kind of like explain it. These guys were that big to where they're hero status.
In addition to El Santo, like I was mentioning earlier, I was just trying to get some more information, about El Santo personally, because I actually admired that character. He was, I guess the first fight he ever fought was with 8 men, and he beat them all, and then that's where he became, one of the best for 5 decades. And obviously the generation still goes on, with his son. Eventually when the older El Santo was, passed away, he was buried with his mask on, so I don't know. It's just a lot of history, a lot of stories about it. And it was huge.
Well, just an idea, Joe, and I know you're not old enough to remember, but we all know Elvis here in America. When Elvis went from music to movies, it was a huge deal. That's how it was. When El Santo went from lucha libre to the movies, this dude was the box office star of his time. I mean, he was the number one wrestler and he was the number one movie star in the world. I mean, not in the world, I'm sorry, in Mexico. I mean, it was pretty incredible. And I can't wait to hear more about some of this stuff when we talk to you guys again and when we bring a luchador back on, because we're going to make it more of a point of pointing to some of the promotions outside of the United States, because we do a pretty good job of covering everything in the U.S., but so does everybody else. There's just not a lot of people that are covering lucha libre. So, guys, for the sake of closing this out, because we know you guys got to get back to it, we want to do one last thing with you, and we want to harness a little bit of that Latino fire, because we all know as Mexican men, as Latino men, we got like some fire inside of us that if you push the wrong button, you're gonna get it. So during this segment, and it's always fun, during this segment, you get to be mad and complain and fuss about anything in the world. It can be wrestling, it can be food, it can be restaurant. It doesn't matter, man. But number one thing is you got to bring a lot of passion and fire. Are you guys okay with that?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, right now we're just looking at each other. And
What?
Can you give us like a quick example?
Yes, I will go first. Joe will go second. By the time we're done, you will know exactly what we're doing. Is that cool?
You want me to just go ahead and jump after you guys are done? Or
That's
you want me
right.
to go ahead and wait and you guys give us the start?
Well, Joe will give you guys the cue. So, intern Timmy, hit the music. Let's get into it. We don't want to wake up. Everybody sucks. All right. I'm ready, Jonesy. You better be ready to go right after me, man, because I'm on fire. Listen, you guys know I love wrestling. You know I love lucha libre, but there's sometimes where I see some mierda, some caca, some nasty stuff that I don't like, and I got to call it out because people expect that from the Wrestle Talk podcast, gosh darn it. And here's the thing that drives me crazy. How are you going to have a well-established, high-functioning tag team like the Revival? They're doing a great job with Randy Orton right now on television. They're getting a lot of heat. They're getting their name back up on the marquee. And then what happens? They lose against Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, a tag team that they just threw together yesterday. And it's not the first time that they do it, ladies and gentlemen, because they did the same thing to the Iconics when they lost the belts to Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. I'm sick and tired of it. If you're going to take time and establish these tag teams, let them have some success and stop burying them for the sake of throwing a couple of big-name guys together. I'm sick and tired of it. I love established tag teams who know how to work together. And you know what? Nothing against Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. But the Revival is a real tag team, and they are not. That's what I'm pissed off about tonight, Jonesy. What do you got?
Oh, my goodness. How can I follow that? Jeez. I would have to say what drives me crazy is when somebody tries to tell me that Taco Bell is authentic Mexican food, and I'm like, no. It's not authentic Mexican food. Taco Bell is fast food Mexican food. If you want authentic Mexican food, you got to go to a Mexican restaurant or a street taco, not the daggone Taco Bell.
Wait.
Fucking bullshit!
All right, Ron, you're up, baby. What you got?
All right. The one thing that really gets under my skin is when people just straight out don't like something without even trying it, And one of the things that comes to mind is the guacamole. So many times I hear people, they just don't like guacamole. And, here a little bit ago, I came across a customer that actually believed guacamole had frogs in it. And instead of straight, there was no frogs.
Straight face.
Guacamole. Okay? Because it's green doesn't mean it has frogs in it. But yeah, that's the one thing comes to mind right now. Frog in a guacamole.
Calm down, Jim Ross. What's he doing there? All right, Sergio, man, close this out strong.
All right, guys. Well, here we go. Why is it that Joe took my line about Taco Bell? No, man, I'm just kidding. No. It's just exactly what Ron said. I think the best thing to do is whenever there's something new to try out, the least thing you gotta do is try it out. And if you don't like it, just toss it to the side and keep doing more. That's the only thing I always try to do for myself, because we just have a very limited time, and for us to not to enjoy the video about food, it's just something that I just can't pass out. So there you go.
Wow, that's great shoot and shout, gentlemen. Joe, any thoughts before we close it out, bro?
Oh, just thank you guys for taking time out of your schedule to come on to the show. You guys have been absolutely amazing. One day I will make it out to Suplex Tacos. I promise.
Me too.
You got it, Joe. We'll be more than happy to receive you guys here, and just be sure to let them know so we can go ahead and receive you guys the way you deserve, and we'll be making good memories.
Thank you so much for you guys considering us to come on your podcast. It's pretty nice.
Thank you so much, and we wish you the best of luck.
Well, thank you guys again. That's Suplex Tacos on all social media platforms. They're based out of Kentucky. That's Ashland, Kentucky. Make sure you guys look them up. And you know what? The whole reason this interview happened is because Skywalker, Luke Roberts, made the trip through Kentucky just to go to Suplex Tacos. And you know what? He couldn't be here today, but I said, hey, Luke, can you send me a message to describe your experience? Because he's actually been to your guys' restaurant and he loved it so much. That's how kind of the connection happened. And he left me this voicemail. Do you guys want me to play it?
Oh, please do. Yeah, let's do it. Let's hear it.
Okay, it's very short. It's only a couple of seconds long. Let's see what Luke Roberts thought about his experience at Suplex Tacos. Claro que sí, mi gente. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Suplex Tacos. Thank you guys for being here, and we will talk to you very, very soon down the road.
You got it, Renee. Thank you so much, Renee, Joe. You guys have a great night, and thanks to everyone.
Bendiciones, hermanos. Adios. And that's blessings, brothers. Goodbye is what I said. Blessings, blessings. So, wow, Suplex Tacos, ladies and gentlemen. What'd you think about that clip from Luke Roberts, Jonesy?
Oh, my goodness. Absolutely. Luke Roberts.
Great guy.
Something that he would do.
Yeah, let's hear it one more time. Let's hear Luke Roberts' reaction to Suplex Tacos one more time. Oh my gosh. We are coming back with the FWWC segment for the second hour of the Wrestle Talk podcast, episode 261. Jonesy, send us to break, baby.
Absolutely, sir. I would definitely do that. We will be back in 2 minutes and 22 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. And so, Timmy, if you could please find us something to play tonight, just so that we could have something. Absolutely. Here you go, ladies and gentlemen. Yo, what up? Night Out. Nightmare Jones. What up, Wrestle Talk fam? Do it for y'all. Check me out. Kick in the door, waving the 4-4. Even them haters can't hate us no more. So unlock your door, cause we got some more. Every Wednesday we here, keeping it raw. Night Out, Nightmare Jones, and all the best. Yes, like a double barrel pointed right at your chest. Wrestle Talk Podcast.com. Smashing and killing it like the night of the prom. Smashing it and killing it like the night at the prom. You know, that lyric right there still gets me every single time because, you know, yeah. Anyway, that was the FWWC segment, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be an amazing time. I shall be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Don't you worry. Don't worry. I'm going to be right back. I'm making sure that Nightmare Jones doesn't show up tonight because every time he shows up, something happens. I don't know. So I am going to step away, and when I come back, we're going to have Cory Bush on. That's going to be absolutely amazing. So take it away, Night Owl. Take it away. It's all yours.
Well, you know what? Instead of blabbering on forever like I usually do, we're going to get straight into the callers tonight. The number is 657-383-1521. If you want to talk about anything concerning High Spots, if you want to talk about anything concerning Journey Pro, if you want to talk about anything concerning Suplex Tacos, dial that number. And during this 15-minute segment, if you want to talk about anything concerning the world's premier fantasy wrestling promotion, the Fantasy Wrestling Worldwide chapter, I need you to dial this number. The number is 657-383-1521. Somebody that's watching us live, please type that in. Again, 657-383-1521. Do me that favor, type it out because we are about to hear from the always engaging and entertaining members of the FWWC, starting with a brother representing the great state of Arkansas. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into the show. The former Intercontinental Champion for FWWC Red, the Bishop.
What's up, Bishop?
Hi, Al Jonesy. How y'all doing this evening?
I was doing a lot better until the Bishop came on. But otherwise, other than that, I'm doing all right.
Oh, Pugsley, I was trying to be nice.
Pugsley.
Yeah, you got jokes. That's okay. You got jokes. Don't worry, but you know what? You don't got? You ain't got no belt.
Oh, you're funny. You're a regular Tiffany Haddish. But when was the last time you held a title, Jones?
Hey, we ain't talking about me. They ain't talking about me. Got him. Got him.
All right. Hey, Jonesy, just settle down. Remember, we talked about this. Let's let the guest come in and do what they're supposed to do. So, Bishop, what's on your mind, man?
Well, as you know, you might have been seeing a little darker side of Bishop lately, but hopefully he's gone away for a little bit. You see, most recently, I don't know if you caught it or not, there was a certain match on Tuesday night with Guy and Brother Brown. Now, you see, he only comes out when Bishop is really aggravated. And so since losing the IC title, I haven't necessarily been myself, so I had to tap into my animalistic nature. And so unfortunately for Guy, he found out what happens when you step into the cave, you get mauled by the bear.
Well, Bishop, I have to ask this question. I know that you know that there is a raging war between the red brand and the blue brand, and the next Big Four pay-per-view is Survivor Series. Can you give us some insight as to what you guys are doing on the red brand to prepare to make sure you win this brand battle?
Well, you know, the red brand, we always stay ready. As far as the plan, I'm sure that the GM has it in the works, but whatever that I plan to be at Survivor Series. And I will represent the red brand to the foot. And we will win this brand battle.
But my question is, Bishop, I know you're not the biggest fan of GM Mayhem. So do you fight for the red brand because of Marcus Mayhem, or do you fight for the red brand despite Marcus Mayhem?
Well, you know, GM Mayhem and we haven't always seen eye to eye. But, you know, there's an old saying, I don't know if I got it right or not, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And so he has plans for the red brand to be successful in this brand battle. And if he has plans, then I plan to be a part of it. Despite how I may feel or how he feels about me.
All right.
If red brand goes against blue brand, we're going to go out on top.
I love that confidence. Well, Bishop, I know we're a little ways from then, man. Why don't you tell us exactly what you have in mind for this upcoming week, bro? Because you know what? We're in the middle of round 8 now. The round 7 pick'em, I believe, is next week, dude. So we're kind of coming down to the wire, man. What are you going to be doing next week?
Well, I'll just say this. Anybody that GM Mayhem puts in front of me, I'm ready to do what I always do, and that's dance, square up, and go to war. So if anybody wants to step inside the ring with me, then they can get this smoke too.
Dang, son. All right. Brother Bishop, thank you so much for joining us, man. And I'll tell you what, I love that intensity. And I know that Mayhem, whether he likes you or not, is very, very grateful to have you in his corner. That said, there's somebody that Marcus Mayhem was not very happy to have in his corner. This is a guy that was drafted by GM Mayhem, but within 2 weeks of being drafted was immediately traded to Blue Brand. So we got to go ahead and have him on right away because I've got to get his thoughts. And I think this is my actual first opportunity to talk to this man one-on-one. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show for what I believe is the very first time ever. Wait, what? Oh, there it is. There it is. The Fireman is now live on the Wrestle Talk podcast. Sir, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. How you doing tonight?
Well, you can hear, man, we're fast and furious here on episode 261, man. What is on your mind, sir?
Oh, yeah, it's been good being on the Blue Brand. I had a great match last night with Nightmare Jones. Yes, Joe. Jonesy. I tell you, Nightmare gave me one heck of a match. Just both of us couldn't get back in the ring in time. It was a good match.
Did you finally end up getting somebody to get you out of them handcuffs?
Yeah.
Very funny, Jonesy. Very funny. Yes. But, hey, it was a good match, man. Good match. Total respect out of anybody in the locker room. For me, I have to give it to Jonesy. He's got some fight in him. He's a really big guy. He's tough. He's one fighting son of a gun. And, yes, I fought GM Mayhem. I have respect for him, too, no doubt. But it didn't go my way. And you know what? It's all right. And it's better to develop. And I developed on Blue Brand, and I'm going to continue to develop. And hopefully at Survivor Series, I get a shot at the IC title against Tank. But I'm going to work my way towards that.
Well, you know what, Fireman, we love to hear that. And the fact is that you brought up somebody that I was eager to jump over to because he's gone through a bit of an evolution recently, and it's helped him. He was able to capture the Intercontinental Championship at FWWC SummerSlam when he originally had gone in to compete for the U.S. title. So I would be remiss if we didn't bring this man on. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in your current Intercontinental Champion, Tank.
How you doing there right now?
What's up, big man? ¿Qué pasa, brother?
How you doing?
I'm great, man. You know, we're killing it today, bro. We've been talking to some taco. What?
Wow. He said hi tonight. I was going to say hi to Nightmare Jones.
So, look how you treat our guests, dude. Look how you treat our guests.
Nice.
What do you expect?
I'm being nice. I didn't say a freaking thing to the fire door.
The fire door.
Nice.
Jeez Louise, no respect for our callers. Well, champ, you are on, sir, and clearly you have a message to deliver, so why don't you go ahead and deliver it?
My message is that actually it's not really, it's a question for you there, night out. You know how you were just talking about how I've kind of gone through an evolution, or I kind of brought myself around.
Yeah.
And with that, I had ended up taking a break from the Battle Tanks because there was so much hatred that they weren't seeing the light, and I let them go on their way so they could try to find themselves. Obviously, I tried my hardest and it wasn't working. With that being said, I turned my attention to Nightmare Jones, and that didn't go my way. So last night, I debuted with my mysterious partner, my new tag team partner, which becomes out to be the King. And that is my next, I guess, person that I have to try to show the light to. So the Kings of War had a match last night, and we actually became victorious over the Hefty Boys. So this upcoming Monday, we have a match against the Green Reapers. And I just want them to understand that no matter what, us Kings of War have respect for them. They currently hold the Unified Undisputed Tag Team Championships. And one day, hopefully, the Kings of War and the Grim Reapers can battle it out for those tag team titles. But upcoming Monday, they're not on the line, and I can't wait. And the King can't wait to have them in the ring.
Well, you know what? I cannot believe that after all this time, Tank has finally come back around to be the guy that I know him to be, a stand-up, hard-working individual. And you know what? I stand behind you 100% because I saw what happened to King Jerobi when he lost that hybrid championship to Amata, and he wasn't the same. But now that you're there, it gives me a ton of positive mojo to believe that he can come back and be his very best. Champ, any final thoughts?
No, my final thoughts are to all the other FWC superstars, good luck for the brand battle. Blue brand's always here, and we're just going to be a step ahead of the red brand.
Woo, you hear that? Blue brand. And Jonesy, I know you're not a big fan of the IC champ, but at least for that reason, you got to like him a little bit, man. He's a fellow Blue brand member. For that reason, you got to like him a little, right?
No comment.
Wow, Jonesy. Seriously, dude? You're just going to sell it like that? Well, let's see what Mama Time thinks about that. Well, there you have it.
So you know what?
What?
It's time for us to get the next caller on. If this is a new member of the Blue brand,
Okay.
and somebody that unfortunately was attacked last night. I don't know who attacked her. I have no idea. Of course, what's going on? How you doing tonight?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good there, Nightmare. A little bit of a headache, but I'm doing pretty good. You know, let me start off by saying,
stop interrupting the lady. Nightmare Jones, you interrupt the lady one more time, I'm putting your ass in timeout. I'm telling you right now, I don't care what Mata says.
Trying to be nice.
Please proceed. You could be nice when you're not interrupting. Let her finish. Jeez Louise, this guy.
I'm telling you, I feel for you there.
La Familia. I mean, geez Louise, these guys all, I'm sorry, Hardcore Sis. You go ahead. Please go right ahead.
Let me just start off by saying, first of all, as Nightmare called him, Fire Dork. You know, you said that you hope that by SummerSlam you can take Tank on for the IC title. You got to stand in line, okay? Because there's a few people ahead of you for that title match, and Hardcore Sis is standing at the top of that line. You see, at the next pay-per-view, Hardcore Sis is stepping in the ring with Corbin Slater and Tank for that title. So you got to understand, there's a possibility Tank may not even be the IC champ come SummerSlam. So don't go counting your little chickens before they hatch, because guess what? You might not be facing Tank for the IC title. You could be facing somebody else if you make it to SummerSlam to be in that match. There's quite a few people ahead of you who have been here a little bit longer and have a little bit more stake in that match than you do. So cool your jet and slow your roll. Okay, fireman?
Well, I got two questions.
You need to just calm down.
I got two questions. So number one, did you just say steak? Because I heard you say steak.
Well, yeah, I probably did.
That's awesome. Okay, so I had to make light of it a little bit. So we started off with this, and Jonesy hinted at it. So you were attacked last night, and Hardcore Sis, I think you're very likable. All right, I don't think we've ever had any issues. But for some reason, you tend to rob men and women in the locker room the wrong way. I know you and Allison Shea, the current women's champion, have a long history of kind of beefing with each other. And then yesterday, I mean, just a week into your tenure on Blue Brand, you're already getting tagged from behind. So, like, what is it about your personality that you think rubs people the wrong way? And who do you think attacked you?
Well, it's funny because, the initials that were on the wall near where I was attacked said NMJ.
Yeah.
I could only... Well, the chances are... Well, the funny thing is, though, Nightmare, is that at the end of my match, you came out and both me and my opponent were laid out flat with you standing over us. So, if you didn't attack me...
I attacked.
Why did you come to my match?
Lion, or whatever he calls himself. I didn't touch you. You better go back and relook at the videos, because I didn't touch you. I touched Flying Jake Ryan.
But that's okay, right? Interfering with Flying Jake Ryan is fine. I mean, come on, Jonesy. This La Familia nonsense is we're all sick and tired of it. And quite frankly, hopefully these rumors about El Mata retiring soon are true, because we're all tired of it. Hardcore Sis, any final thoughts before we let you go?
Just to say to Jonesy that what goes around comes around. And karma is a bitch, and so am I. And when it comes to karma, I drive the bus. So be careful, because you might find yourself under it. You have a nice night now. And both you gentlemen have a great night. And Jonesy, bless your heart.
Wow.
I don't understand why she continues thinking that it was me. Well, I had nothing to do with that.
Jonesy,
I would never attack Hardcore Sis from behind. Never.
We all know
Never.
how you feel about her, dude. You've been expressing yourself negatively towards her forever, dude. And now all of a sudden you want us to believe that you shouldn't even be a suspect? Come on, man. Seriously. Don't act so naive. Okay. Well, anyway, we're going to let you there so you can ponder a little bit more and see why it makes all the sense in the world that somebody would point the finger at you, dude. Shout out to my people on YouTube, by the way. I love y'all and all my Facebook folk. Please share this broadcast. It means everything to us for you to share. We've got a goal. You guys, some of you guys know it. So just please share, hit the thumbs up. It really does encourage us through the very lengthy 2 and sometimes 2.5 hour show. We do have another caller from the FWWC. This is a man that was on with us a little bit earlier, Nightmare, but he's back now because he talked a little lucha, and now he wants to talk a little bit of fantasy wrestling. So let's bring on the man that's always coming off the top rope with a fresh mask rocking, the one, the only, El Luchador de Kansas City.
Hey, how's it going once again, everybody?
Welcome back, Lucha. What's on your mind?
Well, let's just say this. Monday Night Raw Challenge.
myself and my tag team partner, Big T the Paisan, KC Connection. We went double or nothing, and we swept the board. Yeah, we managed to beat the Hefty Boys in tag team match, and I managed to beat up on my old tag team partner DJ Z in the very end that night. And I tell you, it was a great night.
Well, Luchador, there is one match that you're not talking about, okay? And that match is the trios match on Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
Any thought on the trios match that pit La Familia versus the Grim Reefers versus you-know-who? Any thoughts? Because I know you in the KC Connection have had some success in the past in trios matches, but right now I'm wondering, is the KC Connection up to par in the trios department? Because you've shown some weakness.
Yeah, I know. We got some. I know. We added Flying Jake Ryan to our mix. But obviously, he has. I guess you could say a little bit of ring rust still, because he's been out and about and doing his own thing ever since he left several years ago. I say give the man some time. Maybe, just maybe, he could definitely be one of the best, just like me and Big T are right now.
Well, Jonesy, let me bring you in on this, and I know you're the expert on this kind of stuff, but doesn't it sound to you a little bit like there's some finger pointing going on here? Because a luchador is basically saying, hey, you know what? We could have done better, but, Flying Jake Ryan got thrown into the mix. You're the expert of finger pointing and deflecting. Is that what it sounds like to you? Jonesy.
Yeah.
Yes? Is that yes? Okay. Well, that's fine. Well, listen, Luchador, I'm not here to question you and give you 21 questions, man. I just got to say this. We are nearing Survivor Series. We are in the middle of round 8. What are you going to do to make sure that the blue brand comes out on top?
Oh, man. All you got to do is what I do best, show up to every show, make a good performance, and of course, win championships till I'm not able to win championships anymore. Because hell, I believe I'm in talks with probably several champions for next week's show about having a one-on-one match, non-title, of course. But who knows? Maybe if I beat one of these champions down the road, you'll definitely see me in a title match once again.
All right, Luchador. Well, thank you for joining us, man. We're excited to see what you and the KC Connection do moving forward. Guys, the FWWC... What? What are you talking about? Intro.
We do have one more call.
I know. Wait a minute. Wait a second, Jonesy. I'm getting the message here. Let me make sure I can read this properly. No, wait.
I got this.
You got it? I'm being told that we have intro music. I don't understand. What is this?
Yes.
What?
Intern Timmy, please play the music show. Please.
Oh, no. No, please, no. Damn it. At least he's got a good song.
I have arrived.
My brother.
And we're out of time. So thank you for trying, Mayhem. Maybe we'll catch you tomorrow. I don't know, right? We're out of time, right, Jonesy? We're out of time.
Of course not. There's always time for Marcus Mayhem. You got this long-winded El Luchador going for like 5 minutes talking about and you can't have time for the greatest GM of all time? I think not. Okay, Mr. Night Out.
Well, you're cutting into you're cutting into Big Daddy P's time, so make it snappy.
I called because I just want to brag about the red brand having the lead once again, and I guarantee you this time we are not going to lose this lead, and I guarantee the blue brand has a hurting coming for them.
Absolutely. Especially Curtis Black, since he seems to think that he's got some sort of a bounty on Nightmare Jones's head. On my head? Please. I got people backing me up. Who does he have? Nobody.
Well, listen, I only have one question. I only have one question for you, Mayhem. I'm going to try to do my job here, okay? I'm going to try to do my job here. From what I understand, the Blue Brand and you guys are going into Night of Champions. What are you going to do to ensure that Red Brand comes out on top, not only in round 8, but for the whole brand battle, for all 12 rounds, the whole year? What are you doing to ensure it other than screwing people over every time you get a chance?
Geez. I'm someone who's not going to just tell everybody what I'm going to do and give the Blue Brand some ideas because they can't come up with their own stuff. But I will say this. I'm always one step ahead of the game. And as being the second command in La Familia, I've learned from the best El Monte, you always stay one step ahead of the game. And as long as you do that, no matter what happens, you always win. And in my case, no matter what happens, I will always win. I will always have the last laugh in this brand battle.
Okay. Well,
wow.
Jonesy, any final thoughts for Mayhem or questions before we let him go? Because honestly, I think I'm going to throw up. And it's got nothing to do with this tequila I'm drinking. I'm telling you. Just listen to this guy.
All that I have to say is that I am continuing with this mission that you've sent me on to destroy the Blue Brand from the inside out. Marcus Mayhem, I am going to do exactly what I was taught to do, what I was told to do, and that's destroy the Blue Brand from the inside out, sir.
I will say this. This is only the beginning. And before I go, I want to say something, Renee. I know you're trying to, work on your body and everything else and on calories and stuff. Why don't you just, eat a salad and drink some damn water for once? Then you'll lose some weight, you piece of crap. I'm out of here.
Wow. Marcus Mayhem always.
I'm nice enough to give this guy airtime. Jonesy, you know that I got final say. I could cut him off any second, but because I love the FWWC so much, I try to give everybody a certain amount of airtime, and this is the crap I got to deal with. Oh my goodness, man! I understand why we put snippets. I know why we put Snippets of Truth right after FWWC, bro. Every time I listen to that guy talk, it's like I lose 3 or 4 more pieces of hair out of my head. I mean, I'm flat out almost completely bald like Mills Lane at this point, man. I don't even know what to say.
All right. Well, speaking of Snippets of Truth, we do have Big Daddy P on the line. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and bring Big Daddy P on for the Snippets of Truth.
I gotta do what I gotta do. So who the hell is you? You tell me how my soul is wrong, you don't know. Lay out and let the daddy know. You think my rap's about stealing, but it's about feeling. Sometimes you revealing, but you know how I float in the proper review. I
gotta do what I gotta do.
What's up, Big Daddy P? How's it going, sir?
My brothers!
¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa?
If yesterday is history, which it is, and tomorrow is a mystery, which it is, what's today?
A present.
It's called the present.
The present.
It's a gift, and
yes.
you should treat it as such.
Big Daddy P.
Do I got some news for you guys?
Listen, bro, I know you got a lot going on, and we're going to get into the snippets. We're going to bring on Cory Bush here in just a couple of minutes. But, bro, please drop the news on us and then give us the snippets, bro, because I know you've been busy, Papi. Real busy.
Man, I'll tell you what. I believe the last time we talked, I mentioned 127 Pro Wrestling.
Yes.
So we have been getting this place ready. Did I mention last time about the ring we bought?
No, you did not talk about the ring, but I saw a picture of the venue, and it looks amazing.
It's amazing.
Well, wait. It's Jim Crockett's NWA ring.
Did we talk about that? No, I think you saw it in the post, Jonesy. We didn't talk about that. I think he put that up in the post.
He told us all about it.
Oh, damn it.
I thought I did too. Well,
My bad then. My fault.
Ready to go. The building is getting ready to go. We've got beautiful light. It's going to be it's going to be one of the coolest looking independent wrestling shows you've ever seen. So we're really excited. It's going to be a weekly show. So not only did God give me a promotion of working for good ones, but now having my own weekly one, which is a huge blessing. Sunday's show at Woodbury Slam was awesome. Tracy Smothers was amazing. What an amazing man. What history. But God is faithful. All is well. And I know we have a prayer request for a guy named Joe who's got a son who's got to have some dental work done, as well as he's got a prayer request for finances. So we want to get the prayer out of the way.
Yes, absolutely, Big Daddy P.
Probably the most important of tonight.
Of course.
Okay, Father God, thank you so much. Not only for all that you've done for us already, but what you're going to do. I thank you in advance for Joe's son, that you're going to continue to let him recover as he has surgery tomorrow. Father, I pray that you give peace to the family. We know that you're cleaning this situation up. That's why he's having it. We also pray for their finances, Father. We know that you're the one who wrote the words, I shall supply for your needs according to the riches of your grace. It's what you do, not what we do. Your blessings are never based upon who we are or what we do, but just based upon who you are and your love for us. Thank you so much that we can come before you with this prayer request for whatever anybody's listening right now, Father, if they're without hope, without you, if they're hurting. And I just pray, Father, that you would show yourself to them, that maybe there's somebody that just wants to believe in all the work that you do, but just hasn't trusted in you yet, hasn't given you the wheel. So I pray, Father, that they would do that. And I just thank you so much. And I ask these things in the name of the one that gave me eternal life. In the name of Jesus Christ, I pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you very much, Big Daddy P, and shout out to our boy Joe in Ohio, who was man enough to step up and submit a prayer request. I know that can be hard for some of you guys. If you ever want to do that, we don't have to say your name and where you're from. I mean, it could be 100% anonymous.
Well, but not only that, too, guys, just so that you know, you don't have to submit it. I mean, really. We're grateful you do, because it gives us a chance to pray, but you can go direct. I mean, we're not Catholic. We don't need priests. We're our own priests.
That's true.
Catholic,
that's a great point.
We are our own priest, and we can go directly to God. But listen, the whole reason why we've been put on this planet has nothing to do with us, but other people. So there's your snippet of truth, because realistically, our life, we're dead in Christ. Our job is no longer to live our plan, but the plan that he has. And he puts people in our life for a reason. I mean, I know why he put Joe and Renee and myself together. I know why. It was to encourage all of you guys. And then Renee, I'm sorry I was not able to get back to you today. We will come together and talk about the podcast website and do what it is that you would like to do.
Well, yeah, and just so everybody knows, Big Daddy P helps us with the website and really helps make sure that it stays looking fresh. I do most of the updating and uploading, but as far as the way that it looks and the way it's formatted, that's all Painter's Dream Production. I actually got better about putting new videos up, putting new posters up, putting press releases up. But what we're trying to do now is get everything onto the page. So we're going to maybe be adding some things relating to the FWWC. And then I know we're definitely going to be adding a social media a tab so that you guys can see everything that we tweet, everything we put on Facebook, everything we put on YouTube, right there on the page. We're just going to slowly continue to peel back the layers here to make the website as best as possible. So if you guys are looking to make your organization official, whether you're a professional wrestler, a company, or really any company, not related to pro wrestling, and you need a great website, Painter's Dream Production, Big Daddy P. That's what you do for a living, right, Big Daddy P? You're the carpenter, right? You're building things all day, building and building and building.
Oh well, I am a digital carpenter. I build digital platforms and solutions for businesses and churches and people and wrestling promotions, anyone that has the need. Hey, and if anybody's listening happens to be in the Tennessee area on Thursdays, Middle Tennessee, anywhere between Crossville and Jamestown, all you got to do is walk in the door and say, Big Daddy P said I get to get in for free. And Big Daddy P's going to cover your ticket for 127 Pro Wrestling. Let me say that one more time. You walk into 127 Pro Wrestling and you said, Big Daddy P says I get to come in for free. And if you're listening and you're in the area, I got your ticket covered. And we're going to do that based upon the love that we have for this show.
Wow, that's so dope, bro. Just real quick question, because we do have to get to Cory Bush. How close are you to Ashland, Kentucky?
Ashland, Kentucky is about a half a state over from me. I'm in Middle Tennessee. I am literally in between Nashville, Knoxville, and Chattanooga, right in the center.
Oh, I see. Well, listen, bro, we go back and listen, and I know you will. I know you always go back and listen to the shows. Listen to the first interview. Yep. These guys from Suplex Tacos are over in Ashland, and they are so worth the trip, Big Daddy P. I know you can probably get there a little bit easier than Joe and I. If you get a chance, man, get up there. Those guys are going to treat you like royalty, sir.
Let me also tell you, too, that what was awesome about Sunday is when I found out that someone who was there, who came to me, who said to me, man, this show was great. He actually, weeks before the show, pulled Rollins out of the ring and helped him to the back.
He was an extra. Oh, that's so dope, man. That is dope.
He does it about five. He does it about 5 times a year. So when he said, "Man, that show was great," that meant the world to me, because for him to be at the show of shows and to say that about our little show in Woodbury, Tennessee, man, there's nothing like it in the world. God is so good.
Indeed, Big Daddy P. Well, with that said, that ends Snippets of Truth. Big Daddy P, say goodbye, man. We will catch you next week, amigo.
Love you guys. Thank you.
Blessings, blessings. Adios. All right, Jonesy. That does it for Snippets, man. What do we got up next?
Oh, we got Cory Bush, sir. This is a gentleman that I've known for quite some time. I have been pleasured to referee.
What? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Did you just say you have been pleasured? What is?
Oh my God! I've had the pleasure.
Yeah. Well, you're married. I sure hope you've been pleasured at a time or two.
He is an amazing wrestler who's wrestled in multiple promotions. He is a comedian, and ladies and gentlemen, I give to you the weight of the world, Cory Bush.
Let that play, baby. That is so dope.
We are here. What is up?
We are here. We are live. We are doing it tonight. What are we talking about, fellas? What's the news?
Oh, my goodness. Well, the one thing I wanted to talk about is, Renee, you may not know this, but Cory Bush literally had the best gimmick you could ever imagine. There was a wrestling promotion called the IWF, and in this promotion, his gimmick was he would walk around handing out beers to the fans, and he also got you drink the beers as well. And there was a special stipulation to where if his team won, it was for the battle for the club. If his team won, Cory Bush got to drink all night long for free, and his team won. And what happened? Cory Bush got to drink all night long for free. I believe that you slept in your car that night, didn't you?
Yes.
A lot of things happened that night, Joe. A lot of things happened that night. So the way the gimmick worked was that I was normally opening the show. Like, we didn't do a lot of middle of the show promos or anything like that. It was behind this bar called the W Pub, and they had like an area for an open area fire pit. And I think they might have had a net at one time for like volleyball and stuff, but they had an outside bar. So the first few shows that we ran there were like 18 and up shows, and you'd have the wrestling show in the daytime and the rock show at night. And so, I mean, the bands would start to show up earlier and earlier when they found out that there was a wrestling show. So we would, it just became really easy that it would like hype the whole place. If I came out with these buckets and I would throw beer out to like everybody, and the match that Joe's talking about actually took all summer to set up. Anthony Odyssey, who was also Deuce Donatelli, had been messing with the guy who owned the bar all summer long. Just anytime the guy came to watch us, he was all over him. And so finally he goaded him into this match where the guy put his bar up against, I think, Anthony Odyssey being kicked out of the following season or something like that. But so I was like the wrestler team captain of the bar owner's team, and well, they mouthed off to each other when he put the bar on the line. And when I got a chance to actually talk to him after that, I was like, so the other two guys that were supposed to be on our team couldn't make it. I think one of them busted his leg and the other one had 4 flat tires or something like that. So I needed something to motivate the rest of the team. So we had to take guys who had already wrestled already and ask them to go twice. And I was like, the proper motivation for these guys is that when the matches are over, that if we keep your bar, we get to drinking it for free at least tonight. And so he kind of nods at me, and I tell the guys, and we all rush the ring, and it comes down to him and Chris Klein. Anthony Odyssey and me had eliminated each other, and it was down to the bar owner and Chris Klein. And Anthony Odyssey tried to use his quiet sign, and he tossed it, and the owner of the bar caught it and slugged Chris Klein with it, and then rolled him up. And so the match is over, and the outside bartender is bringing us over these buckets of beers, like for us to drink as like a celebration for the show, and we got to give a couple away. And so, and this guy was, he was a nice fella. Like, the place was fun. We always had a blast. But we're in the ring, and I got my arm around him, and like, we're got a beer in each hand, and we're celebrating in front of the crowd. And I was just like, so, were you serious? Like, can we drink for free tonight? And he just kind of looked at me, and he smiled, and then the outside bartender brings another bucket, and I was like, this is going to be one heck of a night. And I thought they were going to cut us off. His wife, the boss that was working there, or maybe she was there to see the show, but his wife came up to me after I ordered my last beer. Well, according to her, it was my last beer. And she was just like, you've been ordering more than everybody. You've had a good evening. And I wasn't like knocking furniture over or wrecking stuff. I had just had a lot. And I went around to the other side of the bar to thank him, because he was sitting at the other end. And I was like, brother, I've had a great time tonight. Like, your old lady has been keeping an eye on me. Like, so, and I just thought it was funny. I was like, she cut me off, and she should have. She's right. Like, but thank you. This was fun so much. He's like, she cut you off. Were you drinking beer? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, so you haven't had any shots? And I was like, no. He was like, he tells this bartender that works for him,
pull up.
Somebody grab a bottle of Jaeger. This kid has some work to do.
Oh my gosh, this is fantastic. I'm sorry. This is a great story.
I don't know if I slept in my car, but I know I slept in a car.
Oh, that's awesome.
Good times.
So, how has the rate of the world been? I know that you have been in this feud with in EPPW with one, the Professor Jacob.
Oh, okay. So
you guys
we're
in a four corners match.
Let's talk
I mean,
about
really,
let's talk about EPPW. EPPW has a lot of things going on with Cory Bush right now, because if we're looking at Cory Bush's short-term EPPW history, last couple shows, I won the title. I was the champion. I turned back challengers. And then EPPW gets into this contest with SSW, and somehow my championship becomes a casualty of that war, and it gets taken by Inferno, and then Doken wins it back, and then the match that I'm supposed to get my rematch, it's not even a one-on-one thing where I get to fight somebody. It was that 7-pack challenge match where there were 7 of us, and it was over the top rope, and that's my kind of match. I mean, just by the numbers and statistically, and any over the top rope match is in my favor. And before I ever even got into the ring, earlier in that show, Jacob Edwin gave out one of his lessons where he tried to mock and laugh at me because I lost the championship. And I proved to him how fragile championship reigns can be when I walked out to get a cheeseburger. A cheeseburger, Joe, a cheeseburger. And because he could not handle my presence being around the ring. I didn't even touch him. Just my presence. He got rolled up by Miles Millennium, lost his title. Wasn't my fault, but I think he learned his lesson. He talks some smack about me losing. He lost. That could have been the end of it, and we never had to go to terms. But you know what happened that night, Joe? He brought out that metal stool, and he bent it around my back before I ever even made it to the ring for my rematch, for my title, that I already had to beat 6 more people to win. He took it from me. You and me know I had a bone to pick with that. So the following show, I came out and I taught him a lesson. When I outsmarted him, I beat him at his own game the first time when I beat him at chess in the center of the ring. I beat Edwin, the professor, at chess in the center of a wrestling ring. It's important. Remember it. Second of all, he brought out some cronies because he thought he was going to jump me with the numbers. And Joe, who did I have? Who was with me? What surprise did I have to offer?
I believe that you had Brutal Bob Evans and his tag team partner.
Oh,
Bob Evans and Toast him.
Uncle Bob.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. You hear his woo? He knows what I mean.
Yeah.
I brought some guns for the fight.
Big guns, baby.
The whole fight.
Big guns.
The whole fight. Jacob Edwin didn't want to touch me. Didn't want to touch me the whole time. We won that match. And the whole time he still wouldn't lock up with me, wouldn't lock horns with me, wouldn't let me get my hands on him so we could teach him this lesson quickly and get it over with. So I finally get them to sanction a fight because we won that tag team match. And it's one-on-one, me and Edwin, I got what I want, and he shows up and says he's hurt, says he can't wrestle, says he won't fight. So he picks a replacement. EPPW Doken does a good job, but he let him replace himself with his little tag team partner, Michael Osborne. And what did I do? I made mincemeat out of Michael Osborne. I showed him the gravitational pull that Cory Bush has every time he steps into a wrestling ring or onto a stage. I'm the weight of the world for a reason. I can control gravity. But the point is that finally I beat Michael Osborne. He was dead to rights. He was about to feel the power of the weight of the world. And then I get my chest caved in by a crutch, which was a crutch of lies that Jacob Edwards was using to get out of wrestling. A crutch of lies, Joe. A crutch of lies. So then finally, because he lied, he had to wrestle Chucky Manson. And if he lost, I got to pick the stipulation. Of course, Osborne tried to get involved. They tried to find a sneaky way out. Cory Bush was like, not going to happen. Came out, took care of that problem. Chucky Manson wins, and it means Cory Bush challenges the Professor Jacob Edwin to a leather strap match. 4 corners. First one to all 4 wins the day. And Joe, who was the first person to 4?
That would have been Cory Bush. I was the referee for that match, so yes, that would have been Cory Bush.
You're damn right you were, Joe. I put my hand on all 4 corners, and I vanquished my fight. I got my hands on him, I finished him, and now we move on to EPPW's next spectacle and my next chance to get back to the EPPW Heavyweight Championship, and that is the Contenders Brawl, and that is this Friday night in Middleway, West Virginia. I'm coming back. Again, I say another over-the-top rope match. It's in my favor. I'm coming back. I know I'm not first, but I know I'm not last, which means that I've got to drop into a freaking washing machine full of wrestlers and tumble everybody around until I can finally get my one-on-one shot for the EPBW Championship that the referee was literally paid to take away from me. It wasn't you, but it was a referee.
Yep.
And when I lost,
Yes, sir.
Those damn zebras.
literally money changed hands. Literally, for money changed hands in front of a live audience for the first time in my recollection since $1 Million Man. Like, what?
Yeah.
That's how I lost. I know.
When they,
that Chris Hunt and Robbie Page are heading for each other one way or another during a collision course. But Cory Bush wants back the EPBW Heavyweight Championship, and I believe it's something that people need to see.
Ooh.
there you go. There you go. Renee, why don't you come in here with whatever questions that you have? Because I know you have a bunch of questions.
Well, I do, Jonesy, and I want to make sure you check the messages because I think there's a couple other questions coming in through social media. I have one statement, and then instead of it going straight to me, we actually have a caller that wants to talk to you, Cory Bush. He's a big-time a supporter of EPPW, and I know he's been waiting to talk to you for a little while now. Before I go and pass it along to him, I wanted to say that you and I seem to have something in common because when you were telling that story about how you finagled your way into a free night of drinking, we share this in common. My favorite type of beer is free beer, and I think Cory Bush subscribes to that same philosophy. Would you agree with that, Cory?
Oh, my God, yes. Yes.
All right, cool. Well, listen, I actually have a question for you about wrestling a former WWE wrestler, but we'll get to that after we get to the caller. Jonesy, why don't you jump back in here, man? I believe we have somebody from your neck of the woods that wants to talk to the weight of the world, Cory Bush.
I think I know who we're talking about, so.
Let's go ahead and bring him on.
Christopher.
Chris.
What's going on, sir?
How y'all doing tonight?
Good.
Great to hear from you, man. Thanks for calling in. What's up?
So I have a quick question for the weight of the world, Cory Bush.
I love it.
How you doing, brother?
What's going on?
That's it. That's your one question. Hey, you said you had one question. That's it. That's your question. He's done. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding, Chris. Go ahead, bro. What do you got?
So I have a quick question. It would be that, yes, you do have the Contenders Brawl match, but don't you also have another match? It's a singles match against Sabal with Captain Decapitate in the corner?
Well, first things first, the Contenders Brawl, and I know that I'm going to get a chance to kind of get a feel and get an understanding for what kind of man Sabal Del Mar is when he gets into the Contender Brawl with me. But I did see what him and Captain Decapitate have been doing to Eric Exton. And that's happened while I was dealing with Edwin, so I had my own mountain to climb. But I will be damned if somebody comes in dressed as a pirate and ruins Pirates of the Caribbean for me. I'd be in a shirt. Yeah, after the Contenders Brawl is over, I'm coming to take a pirate for a ride, punch a pirate in the face, so that you go down in history as a sunken shipwreck. Cory Bush is going to be the new captain. That match. Oh.
Ooh, is that the answer you were looking for, Chris?
Oh, yeah. So are you saying I'm going to have to do some cleanup after the show?
Why not? Let's get a mop, a broom, and a bucket, because I'm wiping the floor with him. Now, don't get me wrong. I guarantee there will be some treachery. I can feel it. Like
shenanigans.
Pirates of the dark water when these guys are around. You know there's some evil afoot. But I know that if Captain Decapitate touches me with that claw hand, there will be hell to pay. And you can Cory Bush stamp approval on that one. I'll write my name on someone's face. I do it already. C-O-R-Y, who am I? Cory Bush. That's who I am.
Well, that's what I would like to hear, and I can't wait to see you Friday during your matches.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right, Chris, thank you for calling in, man.
Have a good one.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you for calling in and being a supporter of the Wrestle Talk podcast episode. 261. I want to remind everybody, man, we do have those Wrestle Talk Podcast mugs on sale right now, WrestleTalkPodcast.com. You can listen to the replay of this interview with Cory Bush. You can share it. You can download it in case you don't have Wi-Fi or whatever at the job. It's going to be one for the books, and we're not even done yet. So let me jump, Cory. I'm starting to become a little bit more.
So, wait,
yeah.
Can I cut you off just for 1 second?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Anybody who's listening, for anybody who's listening, you know at some point you're going to hear about sponsors, or there's going to be a sponsor click button, or a promo code, or something that helps these guys keep this show going. And when you hear it, try to be a part of it. Give it a click. Even if you exit out afterwards, man, it's just good. It helps them market themselves and get more of us on board so you can hear good talk and like good news and just keep it moving.
Amen, brother. Thank you for saying that. And here's what's crazy, Cory. Like, so this show, since our existence, we've been heard in over 40 countries, and we do anywhere between 25 and 3,500 a week from show to show. So, like, people in Kansas City, Chicago, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Missouri, Nebraska, and I'm missing a bunch of other places, are now familiar with the weight of the world Cory Bush, and they probably would not have been before then. What the beauty of it is if they can never see you wrestle in person, bro, I'm sure you got stuff up on YouTube, right? So boom, Cory Bush on YouTube, or EPPW, which I know they put up a lot of their shit. So like, that's the beauty of it, man. That's what makes it special.
If I was going to give you a sampling of like what to look up to get probably some of the better matches, Cory Bush, CoryBush versus TJ Studd. I got a series of matches with him, and it's like in different kind of circumstances, so you can see different stuff. I just put up a match that I had with Big Cass from Hagerstown last year.
Whoa, hold on. And hold on, you beat me to the punch because I wanted to ask you about that. I want to let you finish, but bro, so you had an opportunity to fight Big Cass post WWE. You're gonna have to get into that at some point, but please go ahead.
Well, actually, let's drop right into it. What do you want to know? Like, I'm all in. What do you got?
Okay, so I guess my first question is, how did he look? Because the questions revolving around Big Cass have always been two. It's always been his physique and his mindset. When you got an opportunity to wrestle him, did you see anything out of the ordinary? Did he seem just like a regular guy? Because I think a lot of the stuff about him has been overblown, but that's just how I feel personally. What do you think?
Honestly and outright, I didn't have a single problem with him. Like, I mean, it's the first time I met him, so it's not like I would have seen like hitches in his character or anything like that. But
okay,
he came in, and I didn't know this before I wrestled him, but I was the first match that he had outside of WWE. Like, he told me that his last match prior to me was a house show where him and Daniel Bryan went 30 minutes in the main event. So,
wow. No pressure, Cory. No pressure.
Well, no, it was just kind of a big like level up jump for me, because like I was just like, wow, like, you really are coming from two totally different worlds. And when he explained, I got to talk to him a little bit about how he got started, and it was like he trained under somebody and then like was just with them until he got scouted and then got pulled right into the system. But it wasn't like he didn't show up under the influence. He didn't seem like he was going through like a lot of problems or anything like that. He was just like, hey, this is my first show. I'm excited. So I felt bad, though, because like a few weeks afterwards, like the pictures that came out when they started dogging him was like right after he walked out of the curtain to our match. And I'm just like, no, like, damn it.
Yeah, nobody took the time to go. That's social media, though, bro. Nobody took the time to go watch the match. They just saw a couple of snapshots. On 434, and then that's what people roll with. That's part of the reason that we do this show, so that people will get a little bit more educated instead of just looking at that crap. You know what I mean?
I just after what he told me about how he had come through, like the ring that we were in was completely different than what he was used to. I mean, it wasn't. There's nothing wrong with the ring. It was just he worked in a certain ring for so long. That's what he became accustomed to, and then he took like time after he left the WWE, and this is his first show. So I think that was a different thing, because like it just changes. I mean, everybody can work in a lot of different situations, and I don't want to put like anything against him. I just think it was a little out of his element, like to walk in and be in that situation right away, and then for him to be strong enough to come out and admit like he had stuff going on that was like he had to deal with. And now he's got himself back together. And if he wants to go another round with Cory Bush, I'm damn sure here waiting to see if he still got it.
Ooh, I love to hear that, dude. I love to hear that passion, man. It doesn't matter who it is. Cory Bush is ready to go. Well, speaking of ready to go, you mentioned a little bit earlier, you got a show coming up this weekend, bro. So go ahead and drop the knowledge on us a little bit, man. Who are you facing and kind of what are you aiming to accomplish?
So we talked about EPPW, but the day after that, I'm at the Elite Pro Wrestling Alliance for my first ever one-on-one confrontation in the company. It is the weight of the world, Cory Bush, versus the. First, I heard him call himself the King of the North, and then lately I saw something where he called himself the Steel City Sex Pistol, which I think is hilarious. And that's Jay Mallet. And actually, I mean, if we're gonna get real with it, some people that I respect and admire have been singing his praises lately. That he is one of the top guys in the circles that I move around in, and has a lot of good matches with good people. So we're gonna find out what happens when Cory Bush sends him for a ride once or twice, and we're gonna bang around and show these people that it's something that's worth watching Saturday night, and that's at I believe the Short Gap Fire Hall in Short Gap, West Virginia, and then they have a following Sunday show. And you never know, Cory Bush might pop up there and cause some trouble too.
Every week, dude. That's amazing. Why don't we have promotions where I live that run every week, man? I'm so freaking jealous of you guys, dude. We don't have promotions that go every week here, man.
The big thing is that they're running all 3 days. Like they're running Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Holy shit, dude!
Before they decided to do that, I had EPPW in for the year. So I'm going to Contenders Brawl while they have their first show. Then I'm coming to their second show, and then I'll probably stay around and see what's going on Sunday too.
Oh, absolutely. You know,
wrestling in our area, like, go ahead.
Go ahead, please.
Wrestling in this area, man, like throughout my experience, like there's always been a couple of companies running, but like the dots are starting to connect, like, and you're finding the areas where like people want to do it. I mean, wrestling is all over, but like there sure are some areas where you go to where it's like more spread out than it is here. Like the bug is around this place. People want to wrestle. Like
absolutely. So Renee, here's a funny story about Cory Bush.
Okay.
Do you remember a story about a wrestler that went into the ring and kind of shot on another wrestler? It was a huge story. I believe his name was one of the Andersons. Cory Bush was actually at that show.
Okay.
Okay.
But wait a minute. So give us the backstory though, Joe. What was the shot? Give us the backstory to complete this.
It was a huge story that everybody was talking about. It was old Anderson's son. He was wrestling some guy named Jacob Ryan, and he instantly started shooting on the guy. Took him to the outside, dropped him on his head. It was a huge story.
Wait, it's the one that we talked about 2 months ago, right? Where he'd hurt the guy's son, and the guy came in and just started beating the crap out of him. Okay, I know what you're talking about now. So wait a minute. So Cory, you were at that show, bro? What was the conversation like in the locker room after that? I'm curious.
Well, most of the conversation after that didn't happen in the locker room. It happened out back in the building. But
yeah,
so,
that makes sense. Okay.
I want to say the guy. I want to say the guy's name was Carl Anderson. But anyway, so it was my first show down in North Carolina in a while, and it was for RWA. And the guy who brought me down, his name was Bill, and Bill was really good to me. And Julian, the promoter, didn't do anything to me, but it was like, this is just a weird scenario because I wasn't there for a lot of events. When I caught on to when something was going on, a lot of us came out of the locker room, and the guys involved had just gone through the door to the outside of the building. And so those of us that were left inside are trying to corral to keep fans from going out back, because you don't need the two to mix in a situation like that.
Oh, no. Hell no.
And so people were taking care of Jacob Bryan, and there was a security guard with Anderson, and pretty much he left, but it caused a big dent in everything. And I talked about it online because I just thought, like, if you had a problem with the kid, like, to that extent, you had multiple chances, like, to walk up to him, tell him that there was an issue, and have it out with him if it was over what you were really talking about. Like, if he hurt your son, like, why did it have to be in front of a crowd on a show, like, to make everybody involved look like an asshole?
Right, especially him. Especially him.
Yeah.
That's how we both felt about it, straight up.
Like, this story, like, about this then, like, that's the smaller part of the day. Like, it sucks that that's going to get all the press, but the bigger part of the day was that the international superstars and the Gym Nasty Boys had a great match, like, later that night.
Bro, don't you start with me and the Gym Nasty Boys. I got a thing for the Gym Nasty Boys and the Hooligans, man. I love tag teams like that. They are fantastic.
But so they were the semi. I wrestled Falaba in the main event. The guys who really took it on the chin was Jimmy Parker and Jason Kincaid, because they were the match right after that.
Oh, no, and Jason Kincaid is, I don't know the other guy, but Jason Kincaid is such a special performer, man. That's really unfortunate.
And so, like, I feel bad because this event happened in match 3, and those guys were match 4, and they had to just kind of take this big ball of awkward and turn it back into a wrestling show.
Wow. Well, that's when the professionalism and the training comes through, right? Wouldn't you agree with that, Cory? I mean, that's why those guys are who they are, and the fact they were able to get the show back on track probably helped you at the end, right? To not have to necessarily deal with that.
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely, because when those guys go out there right after it happened and act professional, like, and it doesn't affect them, then people, because right after that's intermission. Like, if those guys go out there and it just doesn't seem like they're with it, then there's a legitimate chance people are going to leave at intermission. Or just be like, this is weird and I'm uncomfortable enough, we're going to leave then.
Yeah, especially people with kids, dude. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, listen, I had one final question for you, Cory, before we close it out with the game show challenge segment. And this question is pertaining to your ability to acquire championships. You were at one point the EPPW champ, the EWA champ, the ATCW champ, all at the same time. Do you feel like, literally and figuratively, like, do you feel that pressure on your shoulders to perform every time you step out? Not only because you're getting paid to do the work that you're supposed to do for each promotion, but now they're kind of like revolving certain stories and things in the company around you. Do you feel that way, and how do you deal with it if you do?
Well, I think everybody's got to find, like, their moment, and when you find your moment, and then overall it helps you find your greater identity. Like, that's what you become champion from, is finding what your gun is and sticking to it, and then you're learning to create from that perspective so that the crowd has a good time. Like, the times I've made it to champion and been lucky enough to do so, like, was because I believe I'm consistent in what I'm going to deliver, and, like, what you're going to get to see and what experience and things I'm trying to make you feel. The pressure got to me because out of those 3 titles, one of them I had to give back to the company because they had a bylaw where they wanted it defended at every show. And I had 2 shows for 2 different titles on the same day. And I had to take the one that I committed to first. I mean, there's certain times I think where it's like a gap where if you get a call to do something really, like, special or amazing, like, that you go to somebody that you've agreed to work with and tell them, and if they understand, like, then it's okay to go from doing one thing to another. But if you agree to something, like, you should be there. And so out of those 3 championships, I lost one in a cage match. I lost another one when the referee got paid. And then the third one I relinquished back to the company because I wanted them to be able to deliver a championship match to their fans like they wanted to do. Like, of course, I would have loved to have gone and defended it or had them, like, create a contender in the next show, come back and done it. But it made sense to me that they're like, that's how we do things and that's how we want to do things. And as long, I don't think it was the first time it happened was to me. It's something that they've done before. So the pressure, though, is to be something worth that value. Like, when you have one championship, it's like, hey, we believe in this company that like you can help us do something, or basically you just took it by storm. Like EWA, I went there, and the purpose of going there and the things that I did, like people still there think I have a bad attitude. But when I first got there, I knew I was going to have to ruffle some feathers to get some attention. So I just started beating up champions. I beat up champions until I got all the way to the heavyweight champion, who at the time was TJ Sykes, until I forced him into a fight. And he kept the belt, but in the history books, that first fight, like I beat him. And then we came back and went title for title in the cage. And that's when I lost. And I left for months because that was a big loss. Like, and I'd never been in a cage match, and I jumped off the top rope thinking that I was going for it and that it was going to be the promised land. And I turned out that it turns my ribs into jello, and then he kicked me in the face. So, like,
dang,
you take your wins and your losses, man. Like, do I feel the pressure? No. I feel like if anytime they put a title on you, it's an opportunity for you to shine brighter. Like, it's more acceptable that you're the one doing the talking. It's more acceptable that, like, you were attempting to be a representative. And I mean, it could be promos, or it could be just talking about the company to people, or like when you're there trying to keep morale up or helping where you can. Like, if you're part of wrestling, be a part of wrestling. And I hope that I have a lot of years left to be a part of wrestling. Like, in whatever service I can be to it has served me that many times over already.
Wow, dude, the humility in your voice, it comes through here, man. And that's part of the reason that I know Jonesy was excited to have you join us, dude. And not to mention, have you captured your I guess Triple Crown champ moment, but over at EWA, you were also named Wrestler of the Year in 2018. So that not only speaks to you having kind of like a peak, but being able to sustain that over a whole year is fairly difficult to do, man. So congratulations to you on that, bro. And that's basically it for me. I wanted to say that before we get into the game show challenge, because honestly, bro, the way that you sound, the way you carry yourself, the way that these promotions continue to give you opportunities, and how you take those opportunities and run with them, I admire that, bro, because a lot of guys try in this business, and they're, you tip your hat to them, but not everybody succeeds, bro. And it sounds like you're succeeding, and you're not even close to being done yet, hopefully, man.
Man, all you can do is just keep cranking up the dial on who you are and what you can be, and until enough people tune into your station, and then we're all going to go somewhere. Like, if we keep lifting each other up to make wrestling as big as it's gotten over the past changing things, you know what I mean? When it feels like the whole thing is changing, becoming something really big, and we've all got something positive to add to it. And I'm going to keep on keeping on and being the weight of the world, and proving that I got the gravity to change the game, because you're going to be watching whether you like it or not.
One interview, one match, one promo at a time. That said, Cory, we want to pull at your competitive bone right now in tonight's edition of the Wrestle Talk Game Show Challenge. The question is, are you willing to tango with yours truly, the Night Owl, in a little bit of a trivia challenge?
Absolutely.
All right, Jonesy, you know what to do, baby.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's edition of the world famous Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. Tonight's contest is scheduled for 2 falls. Our contestants are the Night Owl Renee Martinez and the weight of the world, Cory Bush. In a few moments, I'm going to ask you 3 questions about a particular professional wrestling topic. Whenever you think you know the answer to the question, just shout out your answer. The first person to win 2 falls will win tonight's game show challenge. Tonight's category is titled The Horseman Cometh. I will give you background information on 3 individuals who were official members of the 4 Horsemen. When you think you know what I'm talking about, just shout out your answer. And the first person to win 2 falls will win tonight's contest. So I'll give you a couple of clues. You shout out your answers. Whoever gets the answer right gets a point. And if you get 2 points, then you win, and we will play it to 3 questions. So, Cory Bush, are you ready?
Yeah.
Renee, are you ready?
Oh, baby, the Night Owl is ready. Cory Bush, you're going down, Chico.
Okay. This member of the Four Horsemen was part of the Four Horsemen in 1997. He competed in WCW, WWF, and World Wrestling All-Stars before helping found Total Nonstop Action Wrestling. In 2018, he was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Arn Anderson.
J.E.
Double J Jeff Jarrett.
Jarrett is correct. Cory Bush got that question correct. Uh-oh. So Cory has won the Night Owl, is not on the board yet.
It's okay. I still got a chance. Let's go.
The Four Horsemen is a member of both the TNA and the WWE Hall of Fame.
Ric Flair.
Many people say that. No. Many say his match with Nature Boy Ric Flair at the first Clash of Champions.
Dusty Rhodes?
No.
Tully Blanchard.
In 1988. He also competed in WrestleMania 31, losing to Triple H in a match highlighted by appearances by the NWO and Degeneration X. Sting is correct. Sting is correct. Cory Bush has 2. The Night Owl has none. All right, Night Owl.
Wait. Should I know this? Should I know that Sting? Sting was a member of the Four Horsemen? Damn, man. All right.
Anybody listening who says is upset I didn't get that after the Clash of Champions clue.
Shit. Okay. You know what? It don't matter because the bottom line is I'm not going to get swept. I don't care what happens. I'm getting this last one, period.
Okay. This member of the Four Horsemen was the first WCW Cruiserweight Champion. He went on to be a loose cannon in WCW. Brian Pillman is correct. Cory Bush has not only won the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge, but he has swept the Night Owl, Renee Martinez. Cory, here for you.
Bullshit!
Oh, man. Journey Bro, baby, tomorrow night.
Money on my mind, I can never get it up. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they say that.
And they said it.
Absolutely. All right, so I will tell one more funny story about Cory Bush, and then we will let him do his promoting and everything else. So Cory Bush was in a hardcore match, and he decided it was a good idea to wrap himself in barbed wire. Cory knows where I'm going with this. The problem was that after he wrapped himself in barbed wire, he was supposed to get hit with a chair or a stop sign or something. Well, he wrapped himself so tight that he couldn't get his hands up to protect himself from the chair shot from Chucky Manson. And if you know Chucky Manson, he doesn't pull any punches.
It was a guitar.
It was a guitar.
If he hits you, he's going to hit you with a lot of force.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow, dude. Well, listen,
So,
no shame. Okay, go ahead, Cory.
So it's kind of like a hardcore rite of passage to wrestle Chucky Manson in the area because he's crazy. And I finally decided it was time to knock it off the list. And I had him dead to rights, and I was going for the splash, but I thought like I'd already. So my thought in my mind was like, if I can wrap the barbed wire around me, like, and then splash him with the barbed wire on my stomach, it'll hurt a lot, but like it'll be like a super, like Raw SmackDown, like a special, like hardcore power. Like that's what I was thinking. I was like R2 Y button, this will work. But the problem is that the barbed wire got caught in my wrist tape, and I couldn't get it free. So I basically had like one hand that was stuck to my thigh, and I bounced off to do the splash, and he's not there. Like, so I land and hurt myself, and then I get up, and I see it coming, and like, I'm using one hand to push off the ground to get up, and the other one is stuck to my waist like because the barbed wire. So he pretty much just like wiped me out with it. I'm pretty sure that's how the match ended. I don't remember much. I remember freaking these little kids out because they were next to the ring and they had to like cut my wrist tape and then cut the barbed wire like out of my hair. But that's how far I was willing to go to be Chucky Manson.
Holy shit. Well, I'll say this. I am less ashamed of losing in a sweep in a game show challenge on my own show knowing that you're such a freaking badass, dude. I'm telling you, I'm good with it. I'm good with it. If I lose, I lose to the weight of the world, I can live with that. Because I've lost to other badasses before. And you know what? I feel pretty good about my effort, even though I basically wet the bed. Oh, dude.
That's so kind of.
You're the man, Corey.
Like that's the thing that makes me a badass when it was just like 3 bad mistakes in a row that made me lose.
Hell yeah, but you know what, dude? Here you are still. Here you are still. That's what makes it amazing to me, man. All right, Jonesy. That's what it's all about these days at the end of the day. Jonesy, why don't you give us your final thoughts before we close out today's show, man?
Dude, just Cory Bush, thank you for coming on to the show. I've had the pleasure of wrestling, of being your referee in multiple matches. It has been an awesome time. And so I will see you Friday at EPPW, and I will be right there at the ring when you win that contendership and you become the number 1 contender for the EPP Heavyweight Championship. I'll be there.
No, Joe, you don't got to tell everybody you're biased because we still got to go do this thing, and I don't want to plan like. So
planting seeds, dude. Planting seeds.
So, this has been awesome. Thank you, Joe, for the invite. Cory Bush is coming to EPPW Friday to win the Contenders Brawl. That's in Middleway, West Virginia. Saturday, I'm going to Short Gap, West Virginia, at the Short Gap Fire Hall to wrestle for Elite Pro Wrestling Alliance. It's going to be a great show. I'm going to be there for their Sunday event probably. Then the following weekend, September 6th, stand-up comedy at the Indy on Main in Kaiser, West Virginia. We normally come down there and put on a good show. We've got some new comedians from the area coming in that we think are really funny. September 13th, I'm going to EWA. I'm going to beat Grizzly Oza in a steel chain match, reassert myself as the true performer in EWA, and go back to the championship there one way or another. We got a lot of things coming up, a lot of things going on. Joe, you said you're going to be there Friday night for EPPW. That show is going to be sponsored by Mountaineer Brand. It's this really cool company that started working with us and like putting match films together so that we can get out to everybody and we can be seen better. So if you get a chance to go there and check out their stuff, that's awesome. Thank you guys, man. Tonight is just one of many nights that I show all the reasons that I am the weight of the world and that the gravity I possess is a real thing. You're welcome.
No doubt. Cory, last thing, bro. Drop the social media. And, man, welcome as the newest member of the Wrestle Talk family.
My social media, Instagram is Weight of the World. Obviously, Facebook's just like your name. I got to be better about my Twitter. Like, I have it attached to Instagram so that I can just double up on my posts, but I don't watch my posts as much. Yeah, it's big time CB.
Big time CB. Cory, thank you so much, bro, for your time. Promise us you won't be a stranger and you'll come back on, bro. You gonna come back on with us or what?
Oh, of course. Whenever you call me, I'll be there.
I'll be there. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jonesy.
Now, see, I served up that segue to you on a platter, but I got to get off here. It was great to talk to you guys. The show's great. Anybody in states that's listening that hasn't seen or heard from Cory Bush, like, get at me. Let's make it happen. Like, I'm not running for president, but I'm damn sure running for country. Like, I love y'all. I'm out.
There you go. Peace.
Peace. Jonesy?
Oh, goodness. Woo! I'm telling you, man.
Well,
there's people in the area that I am going to be getting onto the podcast. I can promise you that there are so many more people that I can get onto the podcast that would just be absolutely amazing. Amazing.
All right.
Yeah.
Got you, bro.
Great. show.
What absolutely great show. Thank you, everybody who tuned in. We've got goals through the end of the year. Please support not only us, but all of our wonderful sponsors, all of our partners, MEW, Everything Combat, KCK Dental, and you guys, the members of the Wrestle Talk family. None of this would be possible without you guys. Thank you, EPPW. Thank you, Cory Bush. Thank you, Suplex Tacos. I'm not running for president, but I'm pretty sure going to be running over to Kentucky to try those tacos very, very soon. Guys, 261 is in the books, Jonesy. I think we did a great job. Go ahead and leave the close out of the show to me because we're going to go ahead and hear from Luke Roberts one more time. He gave us his review of Suplex Tacos in a short, brief message, and here it is. We will be back next week with Marcus Mansfield and a guy you may have heard of before, Jonesy. Dr. Tom Pritchard will be on the Wrestle Talk podcast next week. Tell him how you feel about it, Jonesy.
Woo! That's
Woo!
a good one.
We are out, baby.
But every episode,
Go ahead. Go.
Every episode of the Wrestle Talk podcast is a good one. So, ladies and gentlemen, until next week, ladies and gentlemen, we out.
We out.
Hey, wrestling fans, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat talking at you, and you're listening to the Wrestle Talk podcast.
It's raining tacos from out of the sky. Tacos, no need to ask why. Just open your mouth and close your eyes. It's raining tacos, tacos. Out in the street, tacos. All you kitties.
Journey Pro tomorrow night, Kansas Hall. Act like you know. Your boy will be there making noise, talking trash like always. WrestleTalkPodcast.com for the mugs. I forgot mine today. I was drinking tequila. I love y'all, man. Thank you to the Lord that makes this possible. Thank you to my wonderful wife. This is such a great opportunity that we get to do every week. We love y'all, man. Grace and peace.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
We out! It's raining tacos. Do 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 do. I need to download that song onto my phone.